Hello friends, this video on matter and magnetism part 28 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 27 before going ahead with part 28. Now let us have a comparison of the hysteresis loops for two different materials, that is soft iron and steel. I'm sorry, it is incorrectly written here. This is for steel and this one is for soft iron. So if you look at the hysteresis curve for soft iron and steel, they look quite different. So one hysteresis loop is wide while the other one is quite narrow when compared to steel. So what does this indicate? What does this tell about the properties of these two different materials, steel and soft iron? So looking at the hysteresis loop of soft iron, we can see that the retentivity is very high here. What was retentivity? Retentivity is basically this value, right? That means retentivity corresponds to that value of magnetization. Here on the y-axis we have magnetization. So that value of magnetization for which the corresponding value of magnetic intensity is 0. So when magnetic intensity is 0, the value of magnetization is this. So this is your value of retentivity. So if you see here, retentivity is quite large, right? So that means it can be used for soft iron is a material which is suitable for purposes where we want that the substance should retain its magnetization even when the magnetic intensity has been reduced to 0. So for all those purposes, soft iron would be a very good choice, right? Whereas if you look at steel, the value of retentivity is very small. Right here, the value of retentivity is very small, but in case of steel, the area inside the hysteresis curve is quite large. But here, the area inside the curve is comparatively very small. Now, what does this area inside the hysteresis curve indicate? We will study about that in the next slide. So, I just wanted to tell you that by looking at the curve also, you can predict certain properties of the material and you can put them into correct use, right? So now here, so this area inside the hysteresis curve is nothing but it tells us the energy dissipation. So how much energy will get dissipated during the cycle of magnetization is depicted by the area of the hysteresis loop. So when you look at these two curves, you can see that the area of the two curves are quite different. So that is why we can say that the energy dissipation in both the cases are also very much different. So accordingly, you can put different materials for different purposes. So now we will quickly discuss about two small topics. I mean, they are nothing but applications. So the first one is permanent magnets. What are permanent magnets? Substances which retain their ferromagnetic property for a long period of time at room temperature. Ferromagnetic property. What is the basic ferromagnetic property? Strongly magnetized. So that means substances which stay strongly magnetized for a long period of time at room temperature, right? So those substances are called permanent magnets. Now, for permanent magnets, what are the qualities? I mean, what kind of materials would be suitable for permanent magnets? Now, considering the hysteresis loop, we can say that the materials which have very high retentivity and very high coercivity, they will be good for permanent magnets. So, what kind of materials are suitable for permanent magnets? Materials with high values of retentivity and coercivity, because if they have high value of retentivity, that means they will retain their magnetization even when magnetic intensity is reduced to 0. If they have high value of coercivity, that means their magnetization will reduce to 0 after a long period of time, right? So that means they will remain magnetized for a very long period of time. So now if you look at the hysteresis loops which I displayed in the previous slide, what do you see? Out of steel and soft iron, which one do you think would be a better choice for a permanent magnet. I want high retentivity as well as high coercivity. So now if you look at this curve, when I talk only about retentivity, obviously iron has a better retentivity than steel. But when I talk of coercivity, you can see that for steel, the coercivity is very high and the coercivity is extremely less for soft iron. But in case of steel, the retentivity is not very less. It is obviously lesser than soft iron, but it is not very less. So that means steel has a decent value of retentivity and a comparatively higher value of coercivity. So steel would be a better choice for a permanent magnet as compared to soft iron. Right? Now let us look at another application, that is electromagnets. What are electromagnets? Electromagnets core are made up of ferromagnetic materials which have high permeability and low retentivity. Why high permeability? Because electromagnets are generally used for purposes where we want that the substance should get magnetized quickly and it should also get demagnetized quickly, right? So if you want that the substance should get magnetized quickly, for that you need high permeability, right? High permeability, because permeability is a property which tells us the ability of a material, what is the ability of a material to get magnetized. So if the substance has high permeability, that means the substance will get magnetized quickly. But we also want it to get demagnetized quickly. Like that's what I told you, right? Purpose of electromagnet is that, so that we can insert some material inside the solenoid so that it can act like a switch on and off. You switch it on, it is magnetized. You switch it off, it is demagnetized. That means it has to get magnetized quickly and demagnetized quickly. So to get magnetized quickly, it should have high permeability. To get demagnetized quickly, that means as soon as you remove the magnetic intensity, the magnetization should also reduce to zero. That means the retentivity value should be very less, right? Because retentivity, if in the hysteresis curve the retentivity value is very less, that means as soon as you remove the magnetic intensity, your magnetization will reduce to zero. So the substance will get demagnetized, right? So for in this case, and also for electromagnets, as the kind of purpose in which they are used, they are subjected to cyclic changes. Therefore, there is less hysteresis loss. So, which material would be a better choice for electromagnets out of steel and iron? In this case, I want better permeability, low retentivity. At the same time, I want less hysteresis loss. So when I talk of less hysteresis loss, I need lesser area of the hysteresis loop. So obviously soft iron would be a better choice for lesser hysteresis loss, right? So this soft iron would be a better choice than steel, even though the value of retentivity for soft iron is higher than steel, but since the area of the hysteresis loop is extremely large for steel, so we cannot afford for that much of hysteresis loss. These electromagnets are used in transformer cores. I mean, it is very popularly used and it is a very useful thing in transformer cores. So I hope by the end of this lesson you are able to understand what are magnets, what are the properties of magnets, how do we categorize or classify different magnetic materials, diamagnetism, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, and some of the practical applications of magnets. So now we have reached the end of the lesson, so it is time to solve some problems. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.